in the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter, we take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans pride, we never fall. Subscribe to the vibes, we bombard. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, Bean Camaro, run that play. Crystal Lava flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam joining the fans, putting on a show. Lil Mario with time, bringing that heat. Shahid's got that speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned. Don't miss this ride. With the Saints by side, we take pride.
All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your boy, Marley G. I'm your host. Back at y'all another episode. I got my dog Marlon up in here with me. Got my dog Brian up in here with me. We got a lot to discuss, man. We got the topic of the day. The Saints, man. No Pro Bowlers, bro. No Pro Bowlers for the Saints. One of 4 teams out the whole league. No Pro Bowlers. Was Dennis Allen right? That's the topic right there. We're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, go ahead and start the show by saying Happy New Year's to everyone. And also prayers up to, the tragedy that happened, New Year's Day in New Orleans, right there on Bourbon Street. Sad day for all the ones, affected by what happened, all the family, all the friends. So prayers out to everyone involved. Hopefully we just, make it through a better year, bro. Hopefully that's all we can pretty much do for right now. But Happy New Year's to y'all. Brian, let's go ahead and start off with you first, since I ain't get you on the show after the game. Just give me a quick recap of what you thought about what you seen versus with Spence Rattler and the Saints when they took on. Damn, who did we play last? I can't even remember. Yeah, the Raiders. The black and silver, man, versus the black and gold, man. Quick recap on what you thought about what you seen, man.
Man, if you would have asked me going into the season and you did, which game I thought the Saints would win, the Raiders game would have been one of my penciled in, was like, you know what, that's a win for the Saints. But after seeing the way that they played, man, it wasn't an injuries thing. It's that injuries finally caught up with them. The Saints just basically went out there, man, and played like dogs. You know what I'm saying? They laid down, they got their asses whipped, and they just let it be that. It was competitive in the first half, but you could see it from the opening drive for the Raiders, man. They went down 16, 17 plays. You let that happen a couple of times in a game, and you automatically know what team going to win, because one team is getting, defensively is getting worn out by playing that on the field that much, man. So for me, seeing the Saints play like that, man, it was a tale of two halves. They were competitive in the first half, non-existent in the second half, and at some point, every time Spencer, would make a play, the following play, it would get called or whatever like that. The following play is a turnover. So it's like, man, at this point, bro, put the fries in the bag. It's time to hang it up.
So, like, with the people like really criticizing Spence, is it warranted? Like, do you feel like, okay, he started another game under his belt? Like, although the first couple of teams that he played, all pro, all playoff teams, and they have good defenses, and to his defense, no Taysom he had, no Olave he had, no Shaheed. I feel like if you'd have started those first 2 weeks, I'm not saying it'd have been a blowout the way it has, but I think we would have won those first 2 weeks if he was to be the starter the first 2 weeks, especially with the benefits of the run game, the benefits of the defense, and the unknown of Shaheed, and the creativity of Clint Kubiak with the Taysom Hill. But is the criticism warranted so early?
Somewhat. I mean, I think at some point people have to remember this. This was the rookie, starting in essentially his fourth game. So, at some point you got to remember that. At the same time, Spencer got to understand the NFL and college football is a very different arena. You know what I'm saying? It's the idea of you can play well in one half, and then the second half it can be absolutely abysmal. You can make a big play on one play, and then the very next have a turnover. You can be in a situation to where you out there pretty much fighting by yourself, and you have to resist the urge to be the hero and try to throw on your cape and win the game by yourself, because in the NFL that rarely ever happens. So I think both criticisms can be true. The same thing as the question you asked with Dennis Allen we'll get to. I think both things can be true in this situation. Spencer can be play like a rookie, and things be people have criticisms of it, and you can also look at exactly why they had he had problems. And when you have people dropping the ball like that, when you could have made a bunch of different
Yeah,
plays, at
little
some point you
drops.
get a little you get a little ignorant. You get a little antsy, and you start to try to make plays that ain't there, and that's what he did.
Hmm. Me and you kind of touched up on this last week, Marlon. You got anything you want to add to that? Any new
I
ideas or any
nah
takes you
nah.
want to add?
B hit it right on the money. Like we ain't you can't really you don't want to baby Spencer, but like it's like some factors. But how he said the NFL, like when they evaluation, they not gonna want to hear all the time, oh well he's a rookie and this and that. But that like you coming into the game, that you at a disadvantage and it's like kind of hard to judge him. So you can't really at this point, bro, it's the Saints got way too many problems to be debating a fifth round
Mm.
rookie. Like
Mm. Well, let's start. Let's go ahead on and get into these problems, man. Not long before Dennis Allen was released of his duties, we had that holiday on November 4th, I believe, declaring it a National Saints fans holiday. But he came up with some comments, and a lot of people ain't really like the comments. He was like, "Yeah, man. As far as the roster go, I don't really see nobody elite," and everybody was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I don't really see nobody elite. No, basically, no building blocks. Nobody elite right now. No Pro Bowlers. He was just basically saying we got a lot of mid out here. We got a lot of mid out here. But meanwhile, you see guys like Zach Bond and Kate Nellis go to different teams and they go flourishing. But that's a different story. But now you fast forward after he then got fired and Dan Rizzi then took over. The interim bump has then it kind of went away. It fizzled out. It rizzled out, I guess you want to say. And 4 teams in the league right now currently have no Pro Bowlers, and the Saints are one of these teams. Was Dennis Allen justified? We'll go ahead and start with you, Brian.
I mean, it's kind of what I alluded to a moment ago, bro. Both things can be true. Dennis Allen can sit down and say, you know what, when I look at this roster, ain't a lot of elite talent on it. At the same time, you are a part of the reason that there's no elite talent on the roster. So you can't really try to, basically be like, well, it ain't my fault these boys are trash. Yes, it is, actually. Because you have a style of defense that you want to play. You are looking for prototypical, players to run your scheme. So at some point, yeah, it is your fault that there are no Pro Bowlers on the roster, because why do the Saints always have to have a defensive end that's 6'3" through 6'5", 270, 290 pounds, instead of playing tweeners like Zach Bond, like Caden Ellis? Like, why are you always so hell-bent on saying, no, my defensive ends have to look like this. My safeties have to look like this. My corners have to be able to play like this. At what point do you just say, you know what, let's just get talent and let's just stockpile as much talent as we can and I'll coach him up? Sean Payton, for all his hangups, was able to take undrafted free agent wide receivers and making them into, somewhat stars. He took a 7th round draft pick and made him damn near a Hall of Famer. At some point, you got to be able to turn shit to sugar. And Dennis Allen couldn't do it. So at some point, yes, you can sit down and say, well, it ain't my fault we ain't got talent. And then you can also say, well, ain't it your job to get the talent and coach up the talent that you have? And that's the one thing Dennis Allen lacked, is the ability to say, you know what, I'm also at fault. So that's my assessment on it. It's not one, it's not the other, it's both. The Saints don't have as much talent as they could have, and Dennis Allen didn't coach up the talent that he did have.
And that's funny because the whole offseason, the mantra was taking accountability. But
Except for Dennis Allen.
yeah, what you got to say about that situation, Marlon?
far as like the talent thing, like I mean, I don't think he lied, but like, you know, he got a lot of like how B said, he got a lot of blame in that too. Like, I don't think he lied though, far as like we don't have a lot of elite talent because you start thinking about it, I'm looking at like the young. I'm looking at players. I'm not even gonna count like the guys that's like 35 or approaching that age. I'm just looking at 30 and under, and like looking at the players. I don't think we have a lot of Pro Bowl caliber players. I think McCoy's a Pro Bowl caliber player. I think he's an All Pro caliber player, but he's just hurt. I think Olave's a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. I think Fuaga is could be a Pro Bowl caliber tackle. I think Shaheed in the past, he's an all pro return specialist. That's a solid receiver as well. I think he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. Then you got Kamara resurged this year. He's a Pro Bowl caliber player. But then you get to the defensive side, you don't really have any Pro Bowl caliber players. Like it's not a lot of like Pro Bowl caliber or better talent on this team. And like that is true that didn't when he said that, but like I mean his hands not clean in this either.
But the defense then fell from grace, man. Like,
Woo.
uh, we went into this season believing like the defense was going to be a strength of ours, and it's looking like the more I see it, the more I'm looking like, damn, man. Instead of taking best player available, we might got to take the best defensive player available because it's like we could use a lot. We could use a safety that could change the game. We could use somebody to replace Marshawn Lattimore because people are starting to look at Alante Taylor like he looking funny in the light right now. Um, Kool-Aid, he ain't just knocking nobody's socks off yet. Then you got a Debo, he's probably not coming back. He had sustained an injury. Carl Granderson, he's looking like a guy that he's not keeping offensive coordinators up at night. You know, Chase Young, he probably just did his mercenary run right now for us, and he gonna just go play for somebody else next year. And it's you look around, all the other guys, they you know, leaving up out the door soon. Cam, heartfelt moment at the end of the game. He was signing autographs. We not sure if that's gonna be his last game. DeMario, he got like maybe one good solid season left. Tyrann Mathieu, a lot of people are starting to kind of like turn on him right now. So it's like you look around. We was going into the season worried about the offense. Now like, this off season, we gonna be worried about the defense just as much, probably even more. Are y'all that concerned about the defense, or do y'all feel like as long as we get a good defensive coordinator up in here and the offense could, you know, get right, you ain't too much concerned about the defense? You go ahead and start with you.
Oh, you got it. You got to be.
Yeah, man. For me, yeah, bro. It's definitely a concern for me. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't be turned around fairly quickly. I think you need a few good things to break your way. But I mean, at this point, it's what you just rattled off. The Saints have a lot of holes along the side of the unit that we all thought was supposed to be the strength of the team. They're still after going get Chase. After trying to put Carl Granderson in a position, they still don't have a pass rush. They have one defensive tackle who seems to be able to get pressure from the interior, and he refuses to play the run, as equal as passionately as he plays the pass. So along your defensive line, which is your first unit, they're getting their asses bust. Not only are you getting pushed around in the run game, which is non-existent, your pass rush ain't even backing it up. It's not like you one of those units to where you could be like, well, I know they suck at the run, but they got 40 sacks on the year. I'm sorry, 40, 50 sacks. I remember one year, man, the Saints might not have been like one of the elite run units or something like that, but they had like, I want to say like 60 something sacks or something. It might have been the Darren Howard year, man, when him and might have been him and Charles Grant that were running it on the opposite ends. But whatever it may be, man, it's like, they weren't a unit that you look at and say, you know what, you automatically ain't getting 100 yards here rushing. But they damn sure will get after the quarterback. That's not what we're seeing from the Saints. It's what you just rattled off. Again, you don't know what you have in a Debo on the outside. Kool-Aid McKinstry is still an unknown. Alante won't play free safety. Debo could possibly be walking. I mean, if you look at every level of the Saints defense, you can point out not one, not two, but at least 4 holes that you need to plug. And that's just on the starter lineup. They ain't even talking about depth.
You go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, that defense is overly concerning. Like even with the injuries in the Saints state, the other day, we know what the Saints have on offense. What unit did you watch the game? What unit did you think played better? You still gonna say the offense, and they missing like 5 starters compared to the defense that's missing 1 starter because you traded Lattimore, so I'm not even counting him because you willingly got rid of him. So the only player you missing was a Debo. Technically, that's really the
Full,
only player you missing, and
full
you look
defense
like
roster.
that against the you looking like that against the Raiders. Like Amir Abdullah, 10th year in the league, first 100-yard game against you. Like that defense is overly concerning. I look at it like I think they defense like a 2 to 3 year rebuild
I
or
agree.
2 year rebuild, like at least. They don't have because I think Granderson is an edge two on the team, but next year he most likely, unless they get like a player in the draft, most likely Granderson gonna have to be basically an edge one. Like you need defensive tackles, you need you need speed at linebacker because you have none. Willie Gay, that was just a waste. Like I haven't seen what Willie Gay did positively since he been here. That was just a wasteful signing. You have no speed in the back end at safety. Tyrann Matthew, he had a great career. He shouldn't play another down for the Saints after this season is over. The only way he should play is if they choose to get rid of Derek Carr instead of him first. But like, yeah, it's
Man,
just a
what happened to Willie
it's just
Gay?
hope. Who? He
I
just
forgot he was on the team.
the only time I seen Willie Gay do something positive was kind of when they played the Commanders and they had him as a spy on a few plays. He did something positive,
So he
but
not injured?
yeah, nah, he just not good.
I literally forgot all about him. I literally forgot all about him. He was like a Peyton Turner or something right now to me. I forgot all about that dude.
And
I
guess,
said,
hey, guess what? Guess what though? Peyton
what?
Turner, this is his last game technically before he hit free agency. He's injured. Came in just like he's going out injured. That's
Hmm.
part of the that's part of the talent thing right there though. That DA was talking about. So he wasn't lying, but you just can't say it as a coach.
Hmm.
Not just that, but it's the idea of he had a lot to do with why these guys were
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a DA call to get Kendre Miller and not go after Tajay Spears. Now I ain't trying to say Tajay Spears would have made,
Hey,
been the second coming of AK, but that's a DA decision. It's a DA decision to bring in a Chase Young. That's a DA decision. It's a DA decision when you
can I
draft some of the players that you have, or going with a Kool-Aid, going stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad decisions. I'm just saying these are his decisions. So if they turn out to where they're not exactly what you want them to be, well, you kind of have to blame yourself. It was again his decision to go after Trevor Penning. That's a his type of decision. So I'm not gonna give DA the ability to sit down and be like, well, they didn't pan out. Well, you picked them, so you have to take some accountability for that.
You was about to say something, Marlon?
I was saying I'm at this point when they talk about the Kendrick thing, I tried to make it work with Kendrick. And I know people always bring up Tajay Spears with Tajay Spears don't have cartilage in his knee and one of his knees. He have like a Ryan Ramczyk situation potentially where like you have to leave early because you don't have like no cartilage to support the knee. But like at this point, man, I'm not trying to hear Tajay a backup in in Tennessee. What even in Tajay starts, he started a couple of weeks ago. He had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like that's more than Kendrick ever done here. Like we can't even make the Tajay Spears argument anymore with him. The pick should have been A Chain or Tank Bigsby, but like
Yes,
I'm
I
just
agree.
tired of fans always. I'm just tired of fans always defending the organization for everything. Like no, even Tajay with no knee is still a way better pick than Kendrick at this point.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Because like me personally, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you might use him as I view Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a three, and I view Kendrick as a three. But we still need a two that can turn into a one. So
And that's
like
what
I
they don't
running
have.
back, yeah, and running back like Tajay Spears when you a day two pick. At running back, you're supposed to be minimum. You're supposed to come in, and by year two, you a borderline starter, or you like in a rotation, and you involve. I'm not involving him. I just have him on the team just because he's cheap, and we need cheap players for at least the next 2 years while this cap situation look like that. But we need AK need a sidekick that can make him the two
Hmm.
because it ain't Kendrick. So
Yeah, man, that was a high draft pick we used on the tour, and the talent there,
yeah,
bro. The talent is there. It's just I don't know. Maybe there's another thing DA saying like, see, I told y'all. I don't know, man. Maybe DA somewhere on this couch right now, just sipping the pina colada, like let it burn down. But we're gonna have to find out, bro. Like I think Kendrick, he definitely gonna have a bounce back year next year if he want to prove all the doubters wrong, bro. Because it's a lot of stuff that he got to change the narrative with. But as far as fixing the defense, man, like in y'all opinion, if y'all had to take like one position, like what you think that one position just changes the whole defense completely? Like that shutdown corner, like do we need to get this Johnson kid out of Michigan, or do we need to get this kid Carter out of Penn State? Like do we go with the shutdown corner, or do we go with the edge, or do we need a safety? Like, we seen around the league, safeties are just making a lot of plays, changing defense. We see what Derwin James is doing. We see what Branch is doing for the Lions. Hell, we seen how we got to the Super Bowl. We seen the name we don't speak of, but he got 9 picks that season. He got 9
He
picks.
should be a
Like,
Hall of Famer, man.
yeah,
He should be a
man.
Hall of Famer.
And then, like I say, DeMario, he's getting up in age. Like, do we need to just get us a sideline linebacker, like a Fred Warner? In y'all opinion, to fix the defense as quick as possible, like what y'all think we need to go ahead on, and what position, and if y'all know the person, who y'all think we need to go ahead on and draft in round 1?
I would say, like initially, like far as the defensive players for me, I kind of got them ranked like and they each I would probably go Mason Graham would be my first option, but I think he gonna be gone because we got them Rizzy Bowl wins that was meaningless. I know people want the wins, but like Mason Graham would have helped a lot of shit here with the Saints. You can build your defense around him in the interior,
Ooh, him in Brazil.
but
Oh,
he make Brazil he would make Brazil a better player, but like no offense to Brazil, this is a blue chip player right here. But Mason Graham would have been one. Then I'll probably go Abdul Carter two, and then I say Will Johnson three. I think Will actually a better corner than even like a Travis Hunter, but like I'll include a player like Travis Hunter too because I think he would be a great player in the NFL. But like those would be my three
shit,
guys. They
we can
got a
use Travis
safety.
Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got a safety from Georgia. He's pretty good, but I wouldn't take him 10 though. Um, it's a safety that come out next year that I would take in the top 10. A dude named Caleb Downs. He go to Ohio State. I would take him. Shit, I would probably take him in the top 5, damn near.
Damn.
But like, yeah, he like that, bro. His brother played for the Colts on the dude Josh Downs. So like,
Yeah.
it's NFL blood in his family. But yeah, but that's next year though. But yeah, those would kind of be how I rank the players. I'll probably go the interior guy first because that pressure up the middle, the worst thing. The quarterbacks I feel like they can live with the edge pressure, but like the pressure up the middle, like that's the one that get to them the most now. So I'll probably go Graham, Carter, and then the two corners.
I'm not really, I'm not going to kind of, break it the way Rainey did just now, man, because I mean, shit, it's so many variables that could happen
You
in
can
the
go
draft. I mean,
anywhere. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and with the Saints, it really is a situation to where you could basically any, mini, mighty, motor damn thing because they need, help across the board. Like, Rainey mentioned, Mason Graham. That's a hell of a pick, especially if you put him next to Brazil. You want to put an edge next to Brazil, it also works. You put a free safety back there, a corner back there, like no position you pick in this spot defensively would you go wrong. For me, I think I'd probably start off with the edges, only in the situation because that's the hardest position for you to fill. Ain't like Chase Young only was Chase Young and available this year because of his injury history and the history he has about not playing hard all the time. And we saw that a lot this year as well. We kind of saw him kind of he played healthily, thankfully, but there were times when he didn't look like he was giving his all out there. So you could see it. So I think edge would probably be the easiest position to go after in the draft simply because you can't really go out there and get you one of those. Like that's not a position you can sign in free agency and feel comfortable unless you're spending $100 million, and the Saints can't do that right now. So I'd probably go edge in the draft with the round 1 pick, either the cat from Georgia, Williams, or I'd probably go Penn State with Carter. So it'd be something along those lines. I mean, hell, there's a couple of edges that should be in that top 10 bubble that should be there for the Saints. Afterwards, I probably will go cornerback because I mean, good Lord, you don't know what you have in the Debo or if you can even re-sign him. And if I'm a Debo and I get a chance to go play it, get a 1-year deal from a contender or get a 1-year deal from the Saints, I'm picking a contender every time. Because if I can just ball somewhat with a contender, there's a better chance of me not only getting a contract from that team, but kind of re-emerging as a player out there for other teams to kind of come and sign as well. So I'd probably go corner next, simply because you don't know what's going on with a Debo. You asked Alante yourself, Maul. Would he ever play safety? He shut that down and said no, which is probably his best position that he can play on the defense, but he's reluctant to play it. Ain't no sense in doing that. So, that's probably gonna be my third position would be safety after corner. After that, man, it's free for all. Just go ahead and get you a linebacker, maybe go after another, D lineman, something like that. But my forward rankings would be first edge, second would be corner, third would be safety, and then I go interior D line.
All right, Brian, a couple of months ago, you had kind of put up a tweet and you kind of alluded to, don't be surprised, Saints fans, but Saints might swing back and spin a block on John Gruden. And now it's been a couple of reports, you usually be having these little, see the future Nostradamus tweets and then come back and then hit it with that quote like, I told y'all so. I'm just a nigga that hits shit from time to time. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's looking like one of those tweets came foreseen. So and then I also heard that John Gruden actually was offered the offensive coordinator job, but he kind of turned it down and kind of just went into doing what he's doing right now. Like instead of, I guess he just want a head coaching job, but he kind of turned that down, and I guess they just went on ahead and pivoted to Clint Kubiak, the next best thing. But I think John Gruden and Derek Carr probably would have did some good things. I don't think John Gruden would have been so keyed in on using a Taysom Hill like Clint is doing. But all that to say, he's back in the talks right now as the head coach. Do you think by the him being kicked out the NFL, you think the Saints organization could swing the players like buy into this guy?
Well, yeah, man. And I mean, sometimes the sauces used to, they used to be heated up well and they used to cook good, man. So it used to be like that. And this is one of those situations to where, yeah, I'm just a dude that hit things from time to time. I heard a while ago that John Gruden was offered the job at, this is around the time when, other people in, local media were trying to tell you that don't listen to the noise about John Gruden and, things like that, he, was Clint Kubiak all along. I mean, it was clear as day that when the Saints brought in John Gruden to be a consultant, it was clear as day that they had buy-in there because they're not bringing him in if the players are going to be against it. And if you go back and watch some of the high, I'm not going to say highlights, but the YouTube clips from it and stuff like that, you saw a bunch of the players politicking and smiling and cheesing and, high-fiving with John Gruden during his time. So to get buy-in, yeah, I think they already had that. They wouldn't have brought him into the organization if the players would have been like, nah, we don't trust him like that. And I also think, man, with some of the men that they had John Gruden get to know, they weren't stupid enough. They're not gonna bring him to Mike Thomas when he first walk in the door. They're gonna bring him to the company men, the Demarios, you know what I'm saying, the Tyrann Matthews is of the world, you know what I'm saying, Cam Jordan to a degree. They're gonna bring him to those guys and get those guys to buy in first, and then you try to lay it on thick with the rest of the players because if those guys bought in, you have no excuse. Not to mention that, I want to make sure I add this: the Mickey Loomis come to Jesus moment that he had last year at the end of the season when he basically told everybody, get on board with DA or I'm shipping you out of here and I'll put out whatever info I need to basically Mike Thomas y'all. So I think with all of that combined, yeah, if John Gruden wanted the job and he turned it down, I'm telling you firsthand knowledge, again, I'm just a dude that hit things from time to time. John Gruden turned that job down. If he wanted it, it was his. And the reason why he turned it down, he wants to be a head coach. And I do think the Saints are going to spin the block and at least interview him in some capacity for that job. And if he wants it, it's his. Much like, Mickey Loomis has come out and said it's going to be somebody I know. There's no secret to what Mickey Loomis wants to do. He wants to basically, win, and he has to win without Sean. What better way to do it than to go get a Sean type of person? Same attitude to a degree. You win like
And
that.
and if we did make that
It's
move, like
significantly worse.
so if we did make that move, you'll be fine. Would it be like as long as we hit on
Absolutely
the
not.
quarterback?
Absolutely not. I have no desire to see John Gruden back in the NFL, and I have no desire to see John Gruden coaching with the New Orleans Saints. I think John Gruden is kind of one of those relics that we don't necessarily need. He's good for TV if you want to somebody to entertain. You want to put him on ball stool, go for it. But to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, absolutely not. I'm not for it at all. Find another coach.
What about you, Marlon? What you think about the news?
Same, same exact way he feels. That's just like you're trying to describe it. It's like I don't even know how to describe it damn near. It's just like they hiring one of those I can't describe it, but like it's an awful move. It's a franchise. Like imagine you the we at this point where we one of the 3 to 5 worst franchises in the league right now, and it's just like one of the 3 to 5 worst franchises in the league making a even like a even a worse move. Like it's just gonna be like a like you just going down the slide into hell, and that's like it's gonna be a continuation if you brought in John Gruden.
Mm.
That's how I feel basically.
Is there any other new head coaches on y'all radar right now that y'all thinking like, man, you know what? He kind of like been growing on me. We might got to get this guy a shot. Like it's always been the same names: the Flores, the Aaron Glenn, the Mike Vrabels. It's always been the same names. Is there any other names like that's been brewing that y'all kind of looking at? Like, you know what? This guy right here kind of get credit a lot. People start to talk about the Chargers defensive coordinator, even though I believe this is his first time being a defensive coordinator, so he's kind of young. But is there any other guys on y'all radar?
Only one for me, man. I think I've slowly come around to the idea of possibly, entertaining Cliff Kingsbury. I'm sorry, not Cliff King. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I'm sorry. I've slowly come to the realization that it might not be as bad as I previously thought it would be. I am more of a guy that wants the offensive coach. You can spare me on the defensive coaches. The NFL is an offensive league. The trend is geared towards offensive football and putting up points. So for me, give me an offensive guy. The way Ben Johnson been cooking lately, man, it kind of makes you a little bit envious of the idea that the Saints will never have a chance at him. I mean, Ben Johnson he gonna start the number at 20 million. And for a first-time head coach, if you're the New Orleans Saints, you can't afford to pay that man 20 million. I don't care how patient they're gonna be with him. You can't afford. Sean Payton was a Super Bowl winning coach, and he was making 18. So I'm not having Ben Johnson making 20 million coming through the door just because he can throw together some gadget plays. I like his style. I think he's a hell of a coach and he will be one. But I'm good on that. Give me Liam Cohen still. I'll entertain Cliff Kingsbury. But other than that, man, even if you want to go get somebody else from the Rams, I'm cool with it. I just don't want no more retreads, man. Give me a young up and coming coach and let's see what happens.
That's what I'm saying. Give me
Um,
Timu Ben Johnson is Liam Cohen. Timu Ben Johnson.
I
Boy, I'll take him any day. When he doing with Bucky Irvin and Baker Mayfield and Godwin out, oh man, give me him. I'll take that boy. Go ahead, boy.
I'm looking at actually his grandpa used to be the GM and the coach of the Saints, Wes Phillips, Wade Phillips' son. He in Minnesota. He was with the Rams for a couple of years. He was with the Rams for like 3 years, but now he been in Minnesota the last 3 years. I like how they designing their offense over there
What
and
is he?
coaching. He's the OC.
Go see over there. I like that idea too, man. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hmm. I thought your boy was the play caller though.
Who?
They head coach Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not really.
He
I'm
is.
not really sure who
He the
the
play
play
call.
caller, but
He the play caller over
whatever
there,
they
man.
do,
But
But
my
whatever they
apologies,
do,
man.
I like what they do.
Phillips
Oh, you
Phillips
got
designing
it,
the
bro.
plays. Phillips designing the
Yeah,
plays.
whatever they do is working.
Yeah, I got you, man. Minnesota surprised me. You got to get them boys. They credit, boy. At the beginning of the season, everybody kept saying, "Man, Sam Darnold gonna revert back to the Sam Darnold I know. This ain't gonna last too long. This ain't gonna last too long." Man, them people shut everybody up. I think by
Coaching
like week
matters.
five, I was like, man, we got to get these people. They caught them boys defense nasty. They draft nasty. Head coach nasty. I'm talking about Lord have mercy,
You
bro.
you want to know what's crazy?
What?
If they would have drafted better in 2022, they might be even better than this. They missed on a lot of picks, kind of.
Mm.
Like they missed some picks, but like it's the coaching up there. Like they it's elite offensive coaching, it's elite defensive coaching. Like they took a corner. I mean, they've taken some corners. A few of them obviously died. Like, but when they took Jettas, like they took a corner either before or right after Jettas in the first round because they had 2 picks. He was a bust. They took a corner in 2022, high second round pick. He was a bust. He's not even on the team. Like if they would have drafted better, they would be even better than what they were, than what they are. And they 14-2. So like that just goes to tell you that like the defensive coaching elite, the offensive coaching elite.
But
That is.
here's the question now, fellas. Since y'all kind of brought up what's going on in Minnesota, It's been floated around a little bit by Saints Twitter. I know your boy TJ, man, actually is one of the guys that I saw, kind of retweeted, man. I think it's the dude name is Trace or something that originally posted the idea. But what would y'all think if the Saints tried to make some type of deal with the Minnesota Vikings in order to bring in JJ McCarthy?
I don't. Marlon watch more college than me. I don't really know about him, but to me, he seemed like, from what I didn't seen, he seemed like a game manager type of quarterback.
That's exactly what he is, and
He
I ain't giving up a first round pick for him.
he
But
was
for
a
a
Yeah,
second
game
round pick,
manager
I
in
might consider it.
I'm running it back
he
with
was a
Snake. I'm running it back with
he
Snake
was
and
a,
taking the best player available. That's what I'm doing.
he, he was a game manager in college, but like his like physical stuff kind of project that he'll be better than that. But it's just kind of the offense that Michigan ran. Me personally, I'm not worried about a quarterback this year because like we couldn't even take advantage of a quarterback with the way they work the cap. We wouldn't even be able to take advantage of a rookie QB contract. And like I'd rather just we reset on our own. So like I said, you said you running it back with. I think JJ McCarthy will be good, but or he could end up being good. But like I'd rather just keep Rattler, go get like a cheap vet, let them compete next year, and then get the quarterback in 2026.
Yeah, man. And then wherever you land at, that matters too. Like, we looking at Sam Darnold, like, look how he look in Minnesota, but look how him and Baker looked in Carolina. Like, you know, a lot of these guys are talented. I mean, they got to be in the league. They got to have some talent to be in the league. But you got to be that. You got to have a coaching, bro. So even if they did come here, we still gonna have the right. We got to have the right coaches to get the most out of them. So
Which brings me back to Liam Cohen and why he should be the Saints hire.
that's what I want. That I didn't thought about it. I didn't came to grips and said, man, Ben Johnson, I come here. That dude going to. He probably gonna go to what the name of this? The Bears. Yeah, he probably gonna go to the Bears or something. But I don't know. They looking at Cliff Kingsbury with the Bears, and I think he was
They talking about they
he
talking
was
about Jacksonville with Ben Johnson.
I don't think Ben going and I think he wants the Chicago job. I think the problem with that is Ben Johnson wants to pick his own GM. So that's why Ben Johnson coming to the Saints is another reason why, and that's just, what the rumor mill has out there right now, that he wants to pick his own GM and it's somebody that's like, he worked with before or something like that. So if that's the case, we know that's not happening here in New Orleans. For me, all the only evidence I need is what's going on in Carolina right now. Yes, I've seen, what Dave Canales did with, the way he turned Bryce Young and kind of has Bryce Young playing confidently, man. And I mean, let's call it what it is. We thought Bryce Young was cooked after that, that first couple of weeks or whatever. They went to benching him. They was talking crazy. They had them brought up other quarterbacks trying to get him in there. They didn't even want him to start at one point. I mean, the turnaround job Bryce Young has done now. They got their franchise quarterback. Atlanta has their franchise quarterback. Tampa has their franchise quarterback. At this point, man, give me somebody that can try to whisper something in Spencer's ear to make him look more competent, and I'm all for that. That's why I think Liam Cohen, he should be the pick, but he probably won't be. Now, mind you, Mickey, interviewed him before, so that technically goes into the somebody I know, but. I mean, I don't know, man. The way Mickey making moves, as defiant as he is, I just feel like he gonna screw this up some kind of way.
they either gonna go with the safe pick and go Aaron Glenn, or they gonna just undermine what anybody thinking and just go ahead on and go with John Gruden. That's what I'm really like starting to
Hey,
believe. But me personally, I hope it's Liam Cohen. Now the thing about Liam, I don't know nothing about his personality. I don't know if he a leader of men. I don't know if he a culture type of changer. I don't know if he a hard nosed coach. I never heard him speak. So I probably got to go look at some of his interviews just to get like a little feel for him. I gotta go peep him out, because when I was first looking at Clint Kubiak, I was like, man, I don't know, bro. This dude seemed kind of a little bit too quiet for me. He seemed like a little bit too timid or whatever. Like, because as soon as we got Clint Kubiak, I'm looking at his mannerisms and see if he was head coach material. I was like, this is gonna be the dude gonna replace Dennis Allen. But I'm gonna have to do my research on old Cohen. But yeah, man, the head coaching carousel right now it's looking pretty exciting.
hey, I
The
got a
pool that
question
we
for
got.
y'all.
What's up?
I know you said Aaron. If they, I'm not. This is if they hire Aaron Glenn. If you got told the Saints had a new GM, by new GM I mean the GM Mickey Loomis was quote unquote forced up. They hire somebody. as a GM, nobody in building. They hired somebody from like the Rams or Green Bay, and he ended up choosing Aaron Glenn as the head coach. Would that make you feel different if somebody else did it from outside the organization,
No,
or you
because I
just
was
don't
still
want Aaron Glenn?
no, it's not that. I mean, look, I feel like Aaron Glenn is going to be a hell of a head coach. I do. I believe in his talent. I believe in his, football IQ. I just think for the New Orleans Saints, he's the wrong pick because the Saints aren't going to give him what he needs to succeed. And unfortunately, black head coaches never really get the opportunity to do that. So for me, you're gonna put him in a bad situation with a bad cap. You're gonna depending on what they do with Derek Carr, and they might force him to keep Derek Carr. So and
Yeah,
restructure Carr and stuff like that. I don't think you can tie a coach down
you,
like that if you really want what's best for him. And for me, I want what's best for AG. So I don't want it to happen.
saying
And secondly,
because you
I will say that in order to make sure it's not a Mickey Loomis hire, Mickey Loomis would have to be gone. Because to me, I feel like as long as Mickey is in a building, it's gonna come across as well. Mickey wanted Aaron Glenn. The GM had to go to Mickey and get approval. He might have wanted somebody different, but Mickey said no, it's got to be Aaron Glenn. So it don't matter if they hire they can hire Louis Riddick to come in. And if he got to
yeah.
answer to Mickey Loomis, I'ma still feel like no matter who he hires, it was a Mickey Loomis hire.
That that's to your point though, how you was talking about you want what's best for AG. I look at that too. Like I don't think Antonio Pierce is a good coach, but I know that team came into the season with no QBs. Like now it's some in coaching stuff. If watching the Raiders over the season, I'm like, come on, bro, you got to have better in game coaching awareness than that. But like this man could get fired in a year. Look at Gerard Mayo, Bill Belichick fucked that team up with the talent that he left on that team. They have about two good players on the team. The quarterback and the corners, like one of the five best corners in the league. That's it. But if he can get fired in 1 year, like so I don't one of the questions I've been asking is like the Saints want AG, but AG don't have to want the Saints. That man gonna have some options. And like this ain't no appealing situation, especially as a black coach. Like you only get one shot most of the time. Like I don't think a lot of people been realizing, do he want to come here? Because it's a lot of talk. Like even with like I listen to NOF, they talk about kind of like the sacrificial coach. Cause like it's a high possibility you can take this job and you can be the guy that you take the beating with the rebuild, and when it's time to move on and start like going for it, you can be out of a job. So that's one of the like one way I do look at it too.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I see the situation with AG. I don't think he's gonna get a fair shake. I think he's gonna be the guy that takes all of the bullets right now simply because the Saints are in a rebuild, which they refuse to acknowledge that they're in. So I think AG is not gonna have the tools that he needs to be successful. And why give him that, why put him in that position? Especially because if you look at what happened with Byron Leftwich, if AG is offered the Saints job, he really can't turn it down. And the reason why you can't turn them head coaching jobs down, kind of like what Ben Johnson did, is because Byron Leftwich was one of the hot names at offensive coordinator. Should be a head coach right now. He turned down a job. He's not even in the NFL now. You can't turn it down. So for AG, I would hate to see the Saints offer him that job and him not take it, unless he's taking it for like the Jacksonville job or he's taking, the Chicago job or something like that. If you tell me he's taking one of those jobs, all right, fair enough. Maybe even a Jets job, considering that he used to play for the Jets at one time, I believe. Or I know he played for the Patriots. I want to see he play for the Jets at some point
He
in his
played for
career
the
as well.
Jets.
Yeah, thought so. So that being said, or whatever like that, man, maybe that's some kind of ties with that. But for me, I just don't want to see him get to New Orleans and be this like you just mentioned, Rain, the sacrificial lamb. I don't want to see it happen to him. He's such a good dude. I mean, he's the reason why I lost like $300 in Harris. But I mean, still,
You mentioned Brian, if he was to come here, they wouldn't give him what he needs to succeed. What is it exactly that Aaron Glenn would need to succeed if he did get hired?
a full complement of draft picks. Let's start there. A full complement of draft picks. Secondly, he would need a salary cap that's not dependent on pushing, kicking the can forward and hoping everything works out. Like you don't want to get him stuck with Derek Carr if Derek Carr not his guy. And if you're gonna eat that cap hit from Derek Carr, even if you designate him as a post June 1st cut, it's still a lot to have to worry about. Rainey mentioned Tyron earlier. You talking about saddled with bad contracts. I love Cam Jordan. Time to hang it up, but that contract's still there. Jameis is still on the books. Taysom is still on the books. You know what I'm saying? Like you got Cesar Ruiz on a bad deal because it's like his play doesn't back up his contract. So it's a bunch of guys like that, man. That you walking out the door and you don't have the talent or the money to replace them. It ain't like you drafted well, so you got depth behind them, and you damn sure can't do nothing in the salary cap pool because you keep on talking about your 60, 70 million, above the cap before the year even starts. And you got to restructure contracts and do all of this mental gymnastics and all of man, no, like just give that man a fresh slate. Let him go somewhere where they 30, 40 mil above the cap, where they got some money to spend, that they're trying to get rid of some veterans, and they got a full complement of draft picks so he can build a team in his vision. Not, oh, you know what? We're close to winning, because that's the lie Mickey Loomis always sells. And if you don't come in that office and tell Mickey Loomis that they close to winning, you ain't getting that job. Because that's why he was so defiant about, Dennis Allen. He thought Dennis Allen could get them over the hump at some point. He just needed more time. No, this is a full rebuild. But Mickey's gonna say we're just gonna kick the can forward. We're gonna restructure Derek. We're gonna keep him around. We're gonna try to add a wide receiver or two for a 1 year deal that's gonna be cheap, and they're not gonna fix the problems. And you are 5-12 football team right now. Like, bro, you're not getting better next year. You're not getting better. You're getting older and you're getting worse. You're not getting better next year. So they're not going to be one of those worst to first type of teams. The division is good because everybody's pretty much set on their young talent. Everybody ate their losses early, except the Saints. Hell, Atlanta about to do it for a second time. They about to get rid of Kirk Cousins not years after just getting rid of Matt Ryan on bad deals. They don't care. They realize their mistakes. They move on. Not the Saints. They're going to compound it. Oh, we just a player or two away, and they're gonna go all in again, and they're gonna bust, and everybody gonna be sitting there looking stupid next year when they 3-12. I mean, three and 14.
Uh, shit. If y'all like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button. If y'all not subscribed, go ahead on and subscribe. We coming to the part of the show where we're gonna let the people in the comment section ask questions. Y'all got any questions for Brian? Go ahead on and type it down in the comment section below. Any questions for Marlon? Go ahead on and type it down in the comment section below, and we'll get to it as soon as possible. We see a few questions already. It's one of the popular questions. Justin Cash says, how many years before Gail sells the team? I think we spoke on that last time we had both of you guys on the show when we was talking about that Rockets owner. But yeah, that's the question right there. Justin Cash wanted to ask.
If I had to guess on it, man, let me say, when it comes to the Saints, Gail ain't moving. And to be honest with you, the Pelicans are kind of iffy as well. But I think that's an easier sell for her, even though she's more of a basketball, fan than a football fan. I think because of Tom Benson, a lot of legacy is installed inside of the Saints that's not there with the Pelicans. For her to be like, you know what, I can't sell. And I think that's why Mickey Loomis is still around. I think a part of Gail still loves Tom so much that she's like, it was his dream to keep Mickey on and not get rid of him. So it's gonna be hard for me to do that because I'm trying to honor my dead husband's wishes. I think the same thing with the Saints. I think that's her way of holding on to Tom for a bit. So if anything happens, I say with the Saints, it's less likely they'll ever get sold until it's that 11th hour. It's gonna have to be, Gail is pushing 75, 80, whatever like that. Is she looking to sell the team at that point? Maybe. So within the next 5 to 10 years, possible. Within the next 3 to 5 years, I could see the Pelicans being sold.
I feel like the Saints gonna get sold like within the next 3 to 5. Why she I don't know her mental state. Why she seemed competent. I feel like she had sell before. But I think the Saints, this like again, how we before we get into it, like the Saints ain't moving. Now the Pelicans, different story, but like I can see the Saints getting sold in the next 3 years or something.
Got another question. If y'all got any questions, write them down in the chat below. If y'all like the video, go ahead on it, hit the like button and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, we're gonna get to your questions as soon as possible. We got Jerry G asks, what major changes the Saints need to make right away during the offseason?
Say the word rebuild. Don't be afraid to say it. And when you say rebuild, say full rebuild. You ain't gotta tear it down to the studs. You gotta erase the foundation, make sure the land is surveyed all over again. Instead of you putting your electricity at the top and your power line to the top, you might want to run them under the ground this time. Like, you got to do it different. You got to rebuild this thing from the foundation on up. And that's the only way to be able to do it. I mean, you got to go full rebuild. That's how the Saints can get away with it quickly. Get out of those bad contracts. Go ahead and eat your losses now and start planning for the future, which is something they probably won't do.
You got anything you want to add to that, Rainey?
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. Just like stop the lying to yourself. Like do real self scouting on your situation, you don't have like overall how I want to say like it's hard to make a list of 10 good players on this team. Acknowledge that internally. I know you don't have to admit it to me or admit it to us, but like internally acknowledge that like you are not a player away or oh if we get a couple of good players, we can win a division. No, no, you're not like that. Like you need to acknowledge that, and how can you build something that's like sustainable, not just trying to be the best C+ student in a group in a room full of C minuses, which is the NFC South. Because like it ain't no contender in the division at all. But like go that route, not the just the oh we trying to pass the class with a C. Nah, nigga, can you try to get an A? Like be that type of student.
Yeah, man. My take, I really feel like those first 2 weeks haunted us, boys. The first 2 weeks haunted us because that's what they're gonna use. They're gonna use injuries as an excuse, but they ain't gonna look at the fact that it was the Panthers losing record right now. It was the Cowboys losing record right now. Nobody. Rashid Shaheed was unknown. Um, you look at all these players right now. It's still hard to say who we still don't have no Pro Bowlers. Even on some bad teams, you will still have at least a Pro Bowler or two. But they was making plays or whatever the case may be. But this team ain't got no Pro Bowlers. That should be a sign right there. So go ahead on and put the mirror up to you and say, man, we just need to go ahead on and turn another page. And that's what I feel like we need to do. But for those first 2 weeks, they're gonna just try to run it back and just try to get a different head coach up in here. And in their mind, had the injuries not happened, we would probably be sitting at 12 wins right now. That's what I think they thinking. So, me personally, in the offseason, I think the major change, I think we got to hit a head coach. Quarterback, I'm not even going to be greedy and want an elite quarterback. I'll be fine with having somebody just give me a good solid starter that could give me a chance. Give me somebody like a Jared Goff type of guy. Like, to me, Jared Goff ain't elite, but he a guy that give you a chance that you could say, man, you know what? I think he could win the Super Bowl. If things, if everything go right, I think he could win the Super Bowl. I think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Give me a chance with the quarterback. Hit on a head coach. Fix the cap. Cut Derek Carr. And draft best player available at the draft. That to me, that'll be a good off season. If you can't get no quarterback, don't just go just trying to just get a quarterback just for the sake of getting a quarterback. If don't none fall to you and you ain't fall in love with him, just go ahead on and run it back with Snake. You ain't just got to go reaching for something, just because we need it that bad, But that's what I would do.
Hey, I got a question for y'all.
What's up?
Do y'all think Derek Carr have any like trade market with a QB draft that's weak like this? Y'all think he have any trade market? It's not obviously not like no first, second, third round pick, but
I
like you
think
think a team
I
would
think
say,
I think a team will take him because I think a team will say, okay, well, Baker resurrected his career, Geno Smith resurrected his career, Sam Darnold resurrected his career. It just got to be a team that's Super Bowl ready, or at least playoff worthy with a good head coach, but they just don't got no quarterback. It got to be a team out there like that right now. And do I know a team out there like that right now? I can't think of not one off the top of my head. Maybe y'all could think of one, but me, I don't know one now. If Tua were to just go ahead and retire, maybe they could see what's up in Miami with him. I don't know, but I think it had to be a situation like that. Plus, with the recent resurgence of these other quarterbacks, he probably have a chance.
I
I
feel like
think
it's
that,
the coach.
and I actually think the answer to that question is no right now. And only in the idea of Derek Carr has a no trade clause in his contract, so it's not like you're gonna be able to pass him off to a bad team. Like much like you can't pass him off to the Giants and be like, hey, look, Derek, we got this trade. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna want to go to a contender, and the only two spots I can see, possibly three, is the three y'all mentioned just now. I'm sorry, I know Miami would possibly be one of them. That might not be a bad spot for him to go to. He can go to Miami if the situation, calls for it, because he'd be able to play in the same type of system that he's playing in now, being with Mike McDaniel over there. There, I think San Francisco is another. They don't know if they want to pay Brock Purdy. And Derek Carr's already had his money tied in. You get him on basically a 1-year contract if you get him at 40 mil per year, something like that. And with San Francisco, with having damn near a Super Bowl caliber team, injuries caught up with him this year. Maybe you trade Derek back to the West Coast. He's from the upper West Coast area anyway, by him going to Fresno State and being up there and all of that stuff like that, man. So maybe, just maybe, you get lucky enough to say San Francisco might take him. And then, of course, there's the Colts. But the Colts are such a young team. You don't really want Derek Carr up in there stinking up your locker room, poisoning your locker room like that, man, with a young team.
You seen that report on them today?
Yeah.
Or you? That's why that's made me think that like they'll they'll take a Derek Carr for a year to at least try to, if the same GM stay, because they GM how we don't like Loomis, he in that category.
Yeah. So
I
him
think
and the
Loomis the
Bears
worst,
GM,
but
him and the Bears
I
GM are
think
both on thin ice in
yeah,
the Midwest.
yeah.
Yeah, I ain't even. Nah. If I'm Derek Carr, I wouldn't want to go to the coast my damn self. I'll be fine
No,
going to
because
Miami.
the coach got good. The coach got some good. They got some good weapons on offense.
They got some good pieces,
The
but they're
running
a young
back,
team.
yeah.
They play in a crazy ass division.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and
Like
not that division sucked though. That's
you,
and it's in a
what I
dome. That's
mean is a
why I
bunch of
think.
what I
Oh,
mean is a bunch of young quarterbacks, because if like
all
let's
right.
call it what it is. Derek Carr on the latter end of his career, he just got pushed out of an organization with the Raiders in which they tried to get a young quarterback to come and take his spot. I don't think he's as we've seen, he'll mentor Jake Hamer because there was no threat there. He couldn't stand Spence. You could see that, like throughout the week. I don't care what nobody tell me, because I know Spencer's gonna be a professional. You ain't gonna tell me Derek Carr, was giving
Yeah,
Spencer the same type of
some
love he
look
was.
off, bruh.
You can
He
see it. You
gave
can see
he
it in the
gave
way
he's he gave whatchamacallit, what he brought 10 tickets for Jake family when
yeah.
Jake was getting that start against whatchamacallit, you didn't
Yeah,
hear that vice
it's way
versa or
different.
nothing
It's a
like
way
that.
different, brotherhood or whatever. And I don't care about, Jake being there 1 year earlier and him. No, I ain't trying to hear none of that. None of that. You could tell there's a big difference between the way he, the feelings he has for Jake as a brother and a teammate versus the ones he had for Spencer. So now you've got pushed out of two organizations with a young quarterback. The rest of the quarterbacks in the AFC North, that's all young quarterbacks. You are not trying to be in that situation again if you Derek Carr, especially if you get a team like the Indianapolis Colts that does have talent and you could possibly win with them. The last thing you want is for them to draft a quarterback, much like we saw with Atlanta drafting Nate Penix or whatever like that in 2026, and Derek is out the door looking for a job yet again. He ain't trying to do that.
I
But he
don't think he
also.
have that much longer. Oh, you got him all.
Well, let me just get this out quick and you can go. But he also got a fragile ego, and I
Very.
heard I heard people say they went to Saints open portion of practice to the public or whatever when they opened it, and it was so many fans saying Derek Carr, you suck, Spencer gonna take your job and all that, like literally right there by him, like they could clearly hear him say that. Like I didn't hear fans say that. So
Let me add to that real quick, Mo. I had a dude tell me, man, like I said, I'm just a dude that hear things from time to time. I had a dude tell me that Derek Carr looked teary-eyed when he asked somebody else in the locker room this question: why do they hate me? What have I done to them? Why do they hate me? I just can't understand it. If you pay attention to the way he talked when he was talking about that Mike Thomas thing, man, and he was like, I've been loved and beloved by all my teammates until I got here, and then it just happened is that one dude that just don't like me, and I can't figure. Like, if you listen to his voice, it bothered him that him and Mike had a problem. Now, I ain't trying to say nothing is wrong with that, but I'm just trying to say I trust this person very very closely in the idea of they was like Derek Carr really want to know why Saints fans hate him, what he did wrong to him.
see that, and that remind me of that one movie, man. I forgot the name of the movie with John Cena and that one dude that act like Kevin Hart, Laurel. It was a part two, and John Cena was trying to figure out why his girlfriend daddy don't like him. But that remind me of Derek Carr. Like it come off in genuine. Like when you try to do stuff to make somebody like you, that's being
Yes.
ingenuine. That give me them politician. That give me them that snake oil salesman vibe. Them politician vibe. Like it give me a vibes of a salesman. You trying to sell me? You trying to sell me your likeness? You trying to sell me your personality instead of it just being genuine, bro? Like I don't like that. I don't like that dude, dog. Like
And that's why Saints fans don't like Derek Carr. He comes across as disingenuous.
Yeah, he just don't fit New Orleans to me, bro. Like you gotta
Mhm.
come and you gotta be embedded in the culture, bro. Like, and that was one thing a lot of people from Chicago was so worried about with Caleb Williams. They was like, man, we don't know if he just gonna fit here, but we're gonna have to see. But go ahead, Marlon, what you were trying to say?
Like, what's y'all like view on Derek Carr as far as like, because I don't think Derek Carr can have that type of ego at this point. No more like I'm a starter because I think he basically he a year away from that Andy Dalton stage. Like this is how the end of Andy Dalton was, except he just did it with one team. I think we reaching a point where he a player that's 33, 34, 35. He in that tier. He's gonna get injured 1 or 2 times a year. Like I just think he like a high level, he like a backup, he approaching that high level backup point. Like I don't think that he can have that enhanced ego like that. Like, oh man, they might try to bring in my replacement. Like you
My
the
brother in
league got
Christ.
changed.
My brother in Christ, did you not see Carl try to pull a Fast and the Furious attempt in his last thought? Like, did you miss that? Of course, his ego is still intact. He just tried. He just, the reason why I bring that up and him going Fast and the Furious is the idea of what did he say right before he decided he was gonna go airborne? He told everybody in the New Orleans media and anybody that was listening, basically we don't need Taysom Hill. We got guys on this team that can do what Taysom Hill does. And then he went out there on a third down and tried to go I'm sorry, on a second down, tried to go
Second.
scramble. Yeah, try to go scramble and then go airborne like he was crashing through the buildings in Dubai. He thought that was gonna work to get a first down. That's why his ego is still there. My brother in Christ, it ain't going nowhere. It's still right there. He still believes he is that dude.
Hmm. Same thing Drew Brees did when Taysom Hill was going off that game against Minnesota, and then Drew Brees threw that damn pick, messed up the game, bro. I remember that game, but we're playing
Don't bring that
Minnesota.
up.
Drew Brees like, man, Taysom Hill, he's shining on it. Let me show y'all what
Said I
I
still
do.
got it in me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And we
bro.
can't, no. But I see somebody got another question up there, man.
Yeah, Justin Cash says, what will it take for Mickey Loomis to be fired?
Find out he
Honestly,
stole
man,
money or
it's going
something.
yeah, it's going I don't even think that's gonna do it. I think Gail gonna be shit. Gail got so much money she ain't even gonna notice some of the money gone. I think Mickey would have to try to do some nonsense that because we saw him be defiant, right? We saw him come out and basically tell Gail, I think you're wrong. You should have kept Dennis Allen. We saw that and he still kept his job. So I don't think it's gonna take anything like that. I think it's gonna take like a major act of defiance. Like Mickey gonna have to go behind Gail back and try to sell the Saints on her. Like it would
Yeah.
have to take something like that. Other
Shit.
than that, I think he's safe. And again, I think the reason why he's safe, a part of that is I really think she's like, before Tom left, Tom wanted me to keep Mickey in the will and have a succession plan and this, that, and the third, stuff like that. And he's a part of it. I don't want to have to redo anything. The NFL approved it. I just think, man, I think the best thing for us to hope is that Mickey gets demoted up. It's a bit, and if you pay attention to the tea leaves right now, somebody within the Saints organization is not happy with Mickey Loomis. And the reason why I know that is because the Saints are sending their number one henchman, their number one dirt digger to put out information right now, and that's Jeff Duncan. If Jeff Duncan is out publicly criticizing the Saints, that's coming internally. So somebody inside the organization doesn't like Mickey. So the only thing you can hope is that Dennis Lauscher says, you know what? I'm going to be with my grandkids, and Mickey Loomis takes Dennis's job, and that's the best we can hope for. Other than that, I don't see him getting fired per se. Or maybe if we're lucky, he gets reassigned to go back to the Pelicans since they're struggling. Maybe that happens. But other than that, I don't see any situation to where we read a headline that says Mickey Loomis no longer with the Saints.
You got anything you want to add to that, Marlon?
Yeah, that's the same thing because like, how Jeff Duncan went from the mouthpiece to yeah, we need changes at every single level of the organization. So you just gotta hope it's something like that.
Hmm.
B said.
Yeah, man. If y'all got any questions, go ahead on and put y'all questions down in the comment section. I ain't gonna keep these guys too much longer. Put y'all questions down in the comment section. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. We got G Smith says, what are the odds Dennis Lauscher retiring and Mickey taking his place? I think Brian kind of touched up on that in his last comment, but we go ahead on and try to retouch up on it
Yeah,
again
I
real
I
quick.
think it's more likely than not And I think we're probably closer to a year or two away from that happening. I think, depending on what's happening, like when teams start losing as bad as the Saints are losing, and again, I don't like Jeff Duncan, and anybody that knows me knows that I can't stand that pedophile. That being said, it's the idea of, if you pay attention to what he posted, I want to say he posted it today. If you look at the amount of Pro Bowlers the Saints have had over the years, it's gone backwards. It was 0 this year, it was 2 last year, it was like 4 the year before that, it was 6 the year before that, but it's like it's on a steady decline. The Saints don't have anybody that gives you confidence they'll be a Pro Bowler again next year. And they don't give me confidence they'll even be a winning franchise. I mean, we saw them win 5 games this year, and that was 5 games that took the interim bump in order to get to. So had Dennis Allen still been in charge, they might not have won another game. I think they would have lost the Giants games and things like that. So we saw them struggle with some of the worst teams. When things like that start happening, dudes that got money start bailing because they don't want their names attached to it. I think we're probably about a year or two away from Dennis Lauscher retiring, and if that happens, I think Mickey will fall upwards. Maybe we get, again, we can pray that it happens this year and that he's just, he's done with it. But I think they're gonna give it one more go and try to see what happens.
If y'all like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button. Go ahead on and subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're gonna try to get some more content to you through this off season. We got a lot to talk about. We got the draft, we got the coaching search, we got the quarterback search. Is Derek Carr gonna stay? Is he gonna go? We're gonna have to see, man. But go ahead on and hit the like button if you like the content. Go ahead on and subscribe if you're not yet. The Saints, we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the season finale. The Buccaneers, they're playing for their playoff chances, man, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out and they're gonna try to, lay it all out on the field on the Saints, man. If y'all doing any parlays this weekend, I would suggest putting it on Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irving, boy. If y'all do any parlays, but the Saints are in a peculiar situation right now. They got a lot of diehard fans of the Saints, and they no matter what, they don't never want to see the team lose. Never want to see the team lose. But I don't know. I'm starting to see a lot of them trying to change that tune right now. When I wanted a team to lose for my own reasoning, it was all bad. But I'm starting to see a lot of them. They got their reasons why they want the Saints to lose, boy. And they want the Saints to lose, so they don't want to see the Falcons go to the playoffs, boy. The Saints and the Falcons are in one of the most peculiar situations that we could have ever seen, man. The prophecy has came, like Joe Noborn said, my boy, this shit more than the game. The Falcons fans actually have to beat the Panthers and root for the New Orleans Saints to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Boy, what a time to be alive in the NFC South Division, boy. What are y'all takes on this whole situation, and what are your takes on the fans who, can't root for the team to lose no matter what, and would rather see the Falcons go to the playoffs than to see their team lose a game and actively root for them to lose, or the fans who saying, man, you know what, I'm gonna make an exception this time. When I wanted to make an exception to get that high draft pick and get Dennis Allen up out of here, I was crucified, and other was too. Marlon, Marlon, damn near public enemy number 1 on Twitter, where he's just the most negative Saints fan, according to a lot of people. But what's your take on this whole dynamic situation that is just so rare to be in? Go ahead and start with you, Brian.
I mean, I think it's a blessing in disguise, man, because first of all, even if the Saints were at full strength, Tampa's a team that give them problems. But here's the thing that I take away from it most. Boy, it's great to be in the Saints-Falcons rivalry because it kind of puts things in perspective for Tampa Bay fans. Tampa Bay fans don't understand, for as much as they want to be our division rivals, the Saints and the Saints fans care about y'all so little that we're willing to say we want our team to lose this game because we actually don't want to watch the Falcons go to the playoffs. That's when you have a real rivalry and a real hatred. Don't try, the Tampa want to be relevant. The F the Saints and we want to be y'all rival and look at us and all of the little goofy antics that some of their fans pull off. And now you get to understand how truly it is to be in a rivalry because we don't give a good goddamn about nothing y'all got going on. We would rather see our team lose and y'all go to the playoffs than for us to win the game and see our most hated rival go. That's a real rivalry. The only thing I take from this game is that part right there. That
Yeah.
now the rivalry lines have truly been established. Now Tampa Bay fans understand exactly where they stand in the hierarchy. We ain't paying attention to y'all. We got other things going on over here. That's me. That's how I see it. And for all of the Saints fans out there that's still holding out hope and wanting the team to win, come on, bro. What are you thinking? Like seriously, did you not watch them struggle with the Raiders and the Giants? Did you really think Tampa with everything on the line, unless Atlanta lose? And you know what I'm saying? But I mean, even with that being said, you think Tampa gonna go out there and play games? Man, it's gonna be 50 to nothing by the first half.
Yeah, I didn't see them. I didn't see the most diehard Saints fan that say I never root for my team to lose. Say, man, you know what? I'm gonna make an exception. Like I want the Saints and Buccaneers to go down to the wire, and at the very end, I want the Saints to just do something to where the Bucks win, and it just hurt Atlanta hard.
You know what? That might be the only thing that would make me like the possibility of Rizzy being a head coach is if Rizzy was like, man, yeah, I pulled my starters when there was 5 minutes left in the full quarter just so we can, and we had a potential chance to win because it's F the Falcons. If Rizzy came out and said that, hire that man to be a head coach and give him a lifetime contract.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny to see the Saints and the Falcons Twitter accounts. I'm pretty sure whoever had a way, boy, they gonna have some type of post ready. I'm pretty sure they got their PR teams and all that ready in their social media teams thinking of what they're gonna say to try to talk some trash to the other team. But what's your whole take on the whole situation, Marlon?
As far as the rooting for losses, I've been
Well,
doing
just
this shit for like 2 years now, so that ain't nothing. But as far as the rivalry, man, look, I don't give a fuck what the Falcons do. That's on them. They messed this situation up. So you shouldn't don't leave it as like this. How I felt about the Saints last year or the last couple of years. Don't leave it in another team hands. Control what you can control. So like that's on them. Like because Tampa Bay gonna whoop our ass. So. I ain't even you don't even gotta worry about rooting for a loss. Like we gonna lose, but that's kind of how I felt. Just don't leave it in somebody else's hands. Control what you can control. And they didn't control what they can control. So it's funny because people gonna get fired for that shit because of what they did. So
can you imagine all the Atlanta bars? Like, I'm pretty sure the NFL gonna set it up to where Atlanta play first, and then the
no, they play at the
Nah, they
same
gonna play them
time.
at the same
Everybody
time.
play
They
at the
gonna
same
play them at the
time.
oh, they
same time.
do?
They ain't gonna
What
have
I
nobody
thought.
watching.
Oh, I thought they have it. I thought. Oh, okay. Well, you can you imagine the Falcons fan that's gonna be eyeing the Saints game? Like, boy, they want Spence Rattler to look like Joe Montana on Sunday, boy. Like that is a peculiar situation to be in, though. I know they so nervous right now. I know
But you
they
know the
so.
Y'all
most
remember that
saint, you
game?
know
Y'all
the
remember
most
that
saint
game three
shit
years
ever
ago?
is that. Which one?
That one where we won our game against the Falcons, Sean last game,
Oh
and
yeah,
we was
against
playing at full. Oh
yeah
my God. I ain't
49ers
gonna
and the
lie, I
Rams.
was man, I watched them niggas blow that game like that. They did something. The Rams could have went up by like 3 possessions at the end of the first half. And when I seen them like they ended up, I think Matthew Stafford like fumble, and I'm like, oh, I know what
Do
type of
teams
game this is
do
about.
teams really do that? Do teams really do that? Like lose to a team on purpose just so that team can't
They
get in the
didn't
playoff?
know
Because
they didn't lose. They didn't lose that game on purpose. Like they was trying to win, but I watched that fumble happen, and I'm like, damn, I know exactly how this game gonna end in a heartbreak for the Saints. Because like the Saints needed the Rams to win. Because we would have played the Rams, and the Rams would have beat us most likely.
I
Because
know
we
they
out there
said
with
something. They said something about
It,
they.
wa- it was it was Indianapolis, and I want to see it might have. I think the Raiders might have been
No,
involved a
no, I
couple. You
think
know what I'm saying? I'm
it
talking
was
about a
the
couple of
Rams
years
and the
ago.
49ers. Yeah,
No,
no,
I ain't
it
talking
was
about
the
that
yeah, that
short.
game.
game it could have got us to the playoffs.
Nah, it was
No,
the
no,
All the
last
Rams had to
game of
do
the
is win.
season. It was the
no. I'm
last
not.
game of the season. Taysom
I'm
Hill
not.
was starting.
No, I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about those teams. I'm not talking about the Saints at all. I'm talking about a couple of years ago. You
Oh,
asked if it ever happened. A couple of years ago, the Chargers was playing. I want to say it might have been the Chargers and the Raiders or somebody like that.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
remember that.
That
And
happened the same. It happened the same. That happened the same night.
yeah, and it
The
was
same
like I
night.
think the Chargers or somebody was trying to lose on purpose to get the other team in the playoffs, and they ain't know it, so they wound up winning the game or something like that.
Yeah,
Tell B, I got it. B, this what happened. All them niggas, they had played, they went to overtime.
Yeah,
All the Chargers had to do is at a certain point, they both had a possession. The
yeah,
Raiders, the Raiders had the interim coach. He damn near looked across the stadium because it was a Sunday night game. He damn near looked across the stadium and said, look, I can kneel. We can damn near kneel, and you go to the playoffs, and we go to the playoffs.
Yes, that's
Brandon
how it
Staley,
was going.
dumbass, tried to win. He tried to
Yeah,
win and end up losing, and
and
they
ended
missed
up
the
losing,
playoffs.
and they was
They
they was
missed the
trying to
dog.
help him get in, and he that's
Bro,
I think that's what
he
got
they
Stokely fired.
no, it didn't get him fired. It should have got him fired. It was the worst. I never seen something like that before. It was the worst. Like it was two division rivals coming together, damn near say, all right, look, bro, we played this hard fought out game. Um, you gonna go to the playoffs if you just let us kneel, and we gonna go to the playoffs. And this dumbass tried to win the game
Yeah,
and
and wound up
lost.
messing it up. Oh
I'm
man, I
thinking.
couldn't remember. I couldn't remember. I knew it was the Raiders was involved, but I want to say it might have been the coach that wound up getting the playoff berth or something because of it. But yeah, that was
It was
wild, man.
no,
That
it was it was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh went into
Pittsburgh got
week
in.
17 with a 1% chance to make the playoffs, and everything they needed to happen happened.
Yeah,
I think
there
they
it
got an
is, man.
AFC team. I think they got an AFC team. I think it's the Chiefs or somebody. They got an AFC team right now that a lot of people thinking, oh, they're gonna try to pull these starter because they don't want to see
That's the
Joe Burrow
Bengals.
get in the
That's the
playoffs.
Bengals. The Bengals. If the Chiefs lose, the Bengals get in. I think.
Nah,
Yeah,
but the Bengals need the Bengals need the Jets to beat Miami. But the Jets is starting to back up, so the Jets not really. I mean the Dolphins is starting to back up, but like yeah. But
Somebody
hey,
needs to
even with
play.
the
Somebody needs
Bengals,
to play because I know I kept seeing it come out there that the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Chiefs don't want the Bengals in the playoffs. So something has to happen
yeah.
for it. I
So,
can't remember what
so
it
like
was.
nobody
the
want to see
Bengals, the
Joe in them
Chiefs,
playoffs, boy. Nobody want to see Joe in them playoffs.
the Chiefs need the. I mean, the Broncos just need to win. But like the Bengals need the Broncos to lose and the Dolphins to
I
lose.
ain't gonna lie. The Bengals getting them playoffs. Them Bengals smoking them Chiefs. If they play the Chiefs, they gonna
They
smoke
wouldn't.
them.
They wouldn't play them. They wouldn't
Yeah,
play them. They'll play. They would play.
If they meet up, I think they're gonna beat the Chiefs. That's gonna be the team
That
that
Bengals team. That Bengals team sucked, bro. Like the offense great, but like that
I
team,
think they're gonna
you
beat the
got to
Chiefs
stop
though.
somebody, bro.
yeah, but you know how it go, Rainy man. Sometimes one team just have another team number, and it seems like that's what it is with the Bengals and the Chiefs. I ain't saying it's always happened like that, but more often than not, Joe get the best
It
of
be
that
it be
matchup.
it be the Chiefs. The Chiefs got the Bills number. Well, the Chiefs got everybody number really, but the
Yeah,
Chiefs beat the Bills more times than all of them. Man. They beat the Bills
yeah.
more times than the.
I would say I feel like the Chiefs got the Ravens number because I feel like the Bills games always the same. It's within a field goal. It's just Patrick get the ball last. Like it's not like but when the Chiefs be playing the Ravens, it's like damn, bro. Like Lamar, can you please get a lead and like hold it?
Man, Pat sending all them niggas home.
I think the best thing that could happen for the NFL is they get a Baltimore, Buffalo matchup yet again. But by that time, the MVP gonna be decided.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think they most likely they're gonna play in the second round because I think Buffalo gonna be the two and Baltimore like gonna be the three seed, so
Who
they're
y'all
gonna
who
play in
y'all
Buffalo in the second round.
who y'all Super Bowl predictions and who y'all think gonna take it?
I don't really have any at
I
this point,
hope
to be honest with you, bro.
it's hard. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard because like in the NFC, I feel like it's three teams that stand out. As far as the Eagles, um, I'm gonna still give Detroit their respect and Minnesota, and then in the AFC, you obviously got the Chiefs, but then after the Chiefs, I go look at the winner of Baltimore and Buffalo
Just give
I,
me
because
I'd
they
love
gonna
for
meet
the,
up.
just give me a
I'd love for
prediction for fun
Detroit.
so we could go so we could come back and look at this and see
Gotcha.
who
All
right
right,
and
I,
who
I'll
wrong.
pick. I'll pick Detroit. I'll pick Detroit and Baltimore.
Who win?
I
Um,
got Detroit winning that one.
Ooh, Detroit winning the Super Bowl, boy.
I'd
I
love it
think
just for the
Baltimore
fans of
beat the fuck
Detroit,
out of
bro.
Detroit.
That'll be a ghetto ass Super Bowl in New Orleans, boy. Detroit, New Orleans, and Baltimore all together. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Let me see.
What you got, Marlon?
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Philly
Ooh,
and damn. I'm gonna go Philly and I want to see either Baltimore or Buffalo do it, but I'm gonna go Philly KC just for right now. I'm gonna go Philly KC
and who gonna take
Hey,
it?
and
bro.
winner. Fuck KC, man. I
Say,
Hmm.
can't
bro.
go against them, but
What's up? What's up, B?
My bad. I ain't gonna cut Rain and knowledge, man. I had a little bit of a lag on there. My bad, bro. Go ahead, finish your point, Rain. I'm gonna come through.
oh no, I got my point. I got it.
I,
I just
I
said
was gonna say, man,
KC.
what if Burrow get there, get to the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and come out with that number 9 Burrow jersey, spell it where we spell it down here?
He could do that.
Oh, I don't think. Nah, you can't do that.
But
I
nah, you
don't
can
think
change your.
if
You
they
could.
get into
People
the
change their jersey all the time though. Like they got people
I don't
who.
think he can change his jersey number. I think he can change that last name.
Yeah, you could change that.
I don't think that I don't think that Cincinnati team would get out the first round. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't think they would beat Buffalo. Because I
Well,
think their
yeah, I mean,
defense sucked.
yeah. But a man could dream, bro. Don't take away my dream, Randall. I
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
that.
I don't know. I like that boy Joe, dog. There's something about him, dog. That dude, ice water, dog. He don't fall under pressure, dog. Like
No, man.
I just
Joe
I
different.
he different. I like him, boy. Um, shoot, I'm gonna go ahead on and let y'all guys get up out of here. But before we get up out of here, we know we got to talk about them damn
Oh.
that damn stepchild across the street. Yep, man, you know what the Saints and the Pelicans record combined right now is? It's terrible. That's some
It's like
crazy shit.
I know they
Five
only got 10
and
wins between the two of them.
That's crazy.
I
five
think
and 40
the
or
Pelicans 5 and
10 and 40,
29.
10 and 40.
Yeah. Pelicans 5 and 30 or something like that. 5 and 29. The Saints is 10 and 5 and what? 5 and 12, 5 and 13.
Hmm. What y'all what y'all got to say about them Pelicans, man? Like only time I see Pelicans news is when they saying, "Oh yeah, Zion is available, Brandon Ingram is available, CJ McCollum is available," but I don't see nothing really getting heated up, man. Like, ooh,
Man,
is that?
the
Go ahead.
Pelicans have no hope, bro. No hope. What the Pelicans need to do is trade away your big three. Trade away Zion, trade away CJ, trade away Brandon. Get some expiring contracts, but most importantly, go after draft picks. Try to stockpile as many draft picks as you could possibly can. Build the team around a solid, scrappy group. You got DeJounte, you got Herb out there. You could play him, Herb, and Trey on the perimeter. You got Misi, which seems to be a good pick that they finally hit on, man. And
That's
who
the bright
cashes
spot,
in that,
real bright spot.
you figure out power forward from there, man. Or whatever you want to do in the short term. But at this point, man, like the Pels are cooked, bro. Like this is a team that's not going anywhere. From what I've been told, and again, I'm just a person that hear things from time to time. The Pelicans have the green light anytime they're ready to fire Willie Green. David Griffin has the green light. So it's just a matter of when and not if that it happens, but he does have the green light to fire Willie Green. I don't know if they're gonna try to hold off until they make some trades or whatever like that. But if Griff wanted Willie out there, he could be gone. And it's not like Gail gonna come out and have a press conference like she did with with Dennis Allen. It's not that situation. Like she has, Griff has her blessing to get rid of him. But I just don't know what the holdup is. And for me, like I had tickets to the Clippers game, bro. I had tickets to the game before that. I've been down in New Orleans for the last 2 weeks. I don't want to go to the Pelicans games. You can't give me it. Now when I say I got good seats, you can't give me a ticket to go watch the Pelicans play right now. That's how bad they are.
What you got to say, Marlon?
Yeah, I had a tweet the other day that just like I said that teams like the Pelicans, Kings, the Wizards, and the Hornets, like they just exist to get the league, to keep the league at a certain number of teams. But that's kind of how I feel. Like I ain't at this point, Willie Green, he gonna get fired. Now Dennis, everybody involved should be fired, other than the young guy Bryson, because he just got there. So I ain't even gonna include him. But like everybody should be fired. But yeah, it's hard to have any like hope for them ever being a good franchise or a serious franchise. But I just hope that the NBA, because they clearly the worst team in the league, them and the Wizards. I just hope the NBA don't do them some crazy shit like they did Detroit when Detroit was like with Detroit was like 14 and 68 and they gave him the sixth pick. Like I hope they don't do that to us. Just give me a top two pick.
So with the top two
That's
picks, is
all I
there
hope.
any hope? Is there any hope with that one guy that
Yeah.
people been talking about? What's his name?
Cooper Flag.
It's Cooper Flag and
Cooper
it's another
Flag,
guy. It's another guy. I
Dylan
think his
Harper,
name.
Ryan
Yeah,
Harper's son. Ryan
yeah.
Harper's son. Ryan Harper's son like that.
Yeah, but I also think Ron gonna be one of them dads that try to keep his kid away from a team like the Pelicans too.
he have a tweet kind of hinting it. The only thing I'm hoping for, I had looked him up and it said his mom went to she played basketball at UNO, but like that ain't gonna mean that much.
Nah, not like that, man. So I'm hoping that Ron, because I'm hoping that Ron has a change, but I doubt it, man. I mean, this is gonna be one of them situations. He don't want his kid nowhere near a team like the Pelicans, man. So Cooper Flag is your best bet, and that might be your power forward moving forward that I spoke of, a minute ago when I said that's pretty much the only position they don't have locked down. Maybe you can hope Cooper Flag can play that spot and be more of a stretch, a stretch four, something like that. Kind of like a Luka type of player that can play, all basically all four of the top positions if you need him to. So I mean, for me, man, that's all I got on the Pelicans, bro. That's a lost cause right there. I mean, absolute. You can't give me tickets to go watch him right now. I got better things to do with my time.
Yeah, man, I hear that, man. All right, man. Any last thoughts y'all want to share about the Saints?
Yeah, Jawan Johnson can get the hell out of my city, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's
I co-sign that. I co-sign that. That's my last thought. I co-sign B's last thought.
Yeah, all them TikToks, bro. He need to be making some catches on them TikToks so he could be catching it in the game, bro. He too iffy, bro. Goddamn, he like a what's it? J.R. Smith. He J.R. Smith. But man, appreciate y'all boys for coming on the stream, man. Always a pleasure having y'all guys, especially taking time out y'all day to come. Happy New Year's to y'all, and man, y'all shit. In the words of Saints legend Dennis Allen, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man.
I'ma holler at y'all, man. Happy New Year, brothers.
All right, man.
Happy New Year, both of y'all. Y'all take care, man.
All right. Yeah, man. It's Marlon and that's B, man. Always a pleasure having them guys on the show. They always come through and come show out. Shoot. We're about to get ready to end the stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If y'all not subscribed, go ahead on and subscribe. If y'all like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button for the content, bro. It's gonna help the channel out. Got some more content coming up for y'all soon. We're gonna talk about the recap of the Bucks game. We're gonna see if the Bucks gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna see if the Falcons gonna make the playoffs. It's gonna be real interesting, man. A lot of off-season talk about, and shit, we're gonna have to get there, bro. It's gonna be one show at a time. But until then, man, y'all be safe out there. Happy New Year's. And once again, man, prayers up for the tragedy that happened in New Orleans. Y'all keep your people close, man. Stuff like that, you just never know, bro. You just never know. But happy New Year's to all. To all be safe. And who that? I'm out.
Living in the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter. We take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans pride, we never fall. Subscribe to the vibes, we gon' ball. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, Wing Camara run that play. Crystal Lava flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam joining the fans, putting on a show. Doing Mario with time, bringing that heat. Shahid's got that speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned. Don't miss this ride with the Saints by side, we take pride.